So we're almost nearing the end of day 2 here at the European qualifiers for the World Padel Championships, and there's a couple of matches left today, one of them being the GB women taking on Austria, and I'm very fortunate now ahead of that game to be joined by GB number 1 Tia Norton. Tia, thanks so much for joining us ahead of that game. First question has to be, coming into this tournament as GB number 1, do you feel any kind of pressure around you?
I don't think so. Coming into this tournament, ultimately we're a team at the end of it. We're all competing together. Having the title GB number 1, I don't really take it into this tournament with me. We're working all together, and ultimately we can't win without the rest of them. So yeah.
I love that, and you really get that sense of teamliness here, right? Everyone's always together, everyone's cheering each other on while the others are watching. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
And you've come off the back of a hugely successful couple of months, right? You won the FIP Rise in London. How's your life changed after that? There must have been quite a lot of media attention.
Yeah, after that tournament, obviously it was mine and my partner's first international title. So firstly, that was an absolutely amazing achievement in itself. It was actually the second tournament we'd won in England together. So that was really, really good. And obviously on home turf, it's always very special. After that tournament, I think we gained a lot of confidence together. And of course, we're just absolutely ecstatic to come away with that win.
It's absolutely awesome as well, and like you say, on home turf, it must be special as well being in Derby, but you also travel around a lot between the UK, Barcelona, competing all around Europe. Is it ever tiring doing that much travelling, or do you love the kind of buzz around it?
I think I've always loved travelling since I was very young. That's one thing I love about this sport. You're always going to new destinations, meeting new people. There's never really a boring moment. You can always find something fun to do, and travelling with the sport as well, I absolutely love it. So yeah, of course it's tiring, but I wouldn't change it.
Do you have a favourite destination that you've got to play paddle in?
My first international tournament was actually the Junior World Championships in Mexico. So I think that's got to be at the top of the list. I've also played paddle in Australia, which has been pretty cool. So there's been some pretty nice destinations over the years.
That sounds amazing. And if you do what you love and you get to travel at the same time, exceptional, right? So we've also learned from speaking to lots of different people that you didn't just love paddle when you were younger, you did loads of sports. Rounders was one of them. How was it paddle that you finally landed on as the one you wanted to do professionally?
Yeah, so I actually started off with tennis. So I played tennis from the age of 7 until 12. And then it was one of my old tennis coaches who invited me down to a club. And a few weeks after trying the sport, they were holding GB trials for the junior team to go to the Mexico World Championships. And I actually got selected for the under 14 team when I was 12. So in Mexico, I managed to reach the quarterfinals in the open event. And I came home, I was still playing tennis and paddle together. I was mixing shots between the two sports. So my parents were like, right, yeah, it's time to decide, do you want to do tennis, do you want to do paddle? And in the end, I decided to choose paddle, and here we are. I definitely don't regret the decision.
No, I don't imagine you do.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're still super young, there's loads and loads to come. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to in this next year, or any goals that you have coming up?
Ultimately, I just want to keep enjoying the sport, playing freely, playing well, enjoying traveling, meeting new people all around it. The goal for the end of this year was to try and break into the top 100, so that's still something I'm working towards. Obviously, long-term goals, I would love to be able to win a World Padel Tour, and obviously bigger and better things.
Oh, I absolutely love it. It's just, you can tell the atmosphere behind us as well. It's so buzzing here in Derby. Okay, Tia, so a couple of last questions for you then. Obviously, there's loads of fans here. We've heard them being very, very loud at times. Do you have some support here? Anyone that's kind of been with you through that whole entire journey that you want to thank?
My parents have been with me, supporting me since day one. They've actually come down today to watch. And they were actually with me when we won the FIP tournament as well. So obviously it's very special having them here as well. Hopefully I can encourage some more of my family to come down as well. But yeah, my parents have been my biggest supporters.
And it must be amazing them having them here when you win as well. For that, just that extra buzz must be incredible. And one final question for you then. There's so much that goes on in paddle, sponsors, rackets, shoes, balls. Is there anyone you want to shout out who's been extra supportive for you over the last couple of years?
I want to say a huge thank you to all my sponsors, to Knox, Paddle Shack, Matchy, Game for Paddle, Binks. Without them, I honestly wouldn't be able to do this sport, and yeah, they support me huge amounts. And of course my family. Without them I definitely wouldn't be doing this. So yeah, a big one thank you to them.
Amazing. Tia, thanks so much. We're wishing you a huge amount of luck. Not that I think you'll need it in the game against Austria and in everything you're doing going forward. Thank you.